Hey, sound, hey, check.
Hello? Grand Arcade players, sorry for the slight delay. The event will start at 11:15. We're just handling some issues with the Omnidex. The event will start at a 15-minute delay. Grand Arcade, we're just handling issues with the Omnidex. Thank you. Team order, last call for registration. 750 modern players, last call for registration.
Sound, hey. Test. Sound, hey, check.
May pinili pa sa'yo si Sir Don, kasi di ba may binili siya sa akin si Parang ko rin kaya.
everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Dapat yung Hello everyone, welcome to the Grand Archive Philippines Regionals here at Okada at HoyCon, hosted by Whimsy Gaming Cafe. So we've got a long day of Grand Archive, 7 rounds. We have a total of 110 players, I believe. And we are starting off with a fun one. We have Dan Radney L versus Darren B. Dan on new deck, Fire, Goja, Burn, Suzaku. So we're gonna start off with the Coiled Fatestone here. Probably the best start you could possibly want for this deck. Coiled just does everything. It gives you the quest counters, and it also just gets you that inevitability with the snake. If it ever comes out, usually the game ends before then on either side. Ooh, a fire mirror. Fire, one of the elements that kind of fell off a bit. Well, actually, you can't really say they fell off because fire didn't really have much play last set, and now mostly just the aggro variants. You don't really see much Merlins or much Philos. It's mostly just Fizas and other like burn variants like Fiza, Fire Goja, Fire Diao-Chans, like these kind of like low to the ground burn decks. So wonder which variant of fire we're seeing on this side. It is a normal spirit, so could be anything really. I'm gonna just put 2 down. What is it? Is it a coil? Maybe he has his own coil. Okay, it's mnemonic. That's Merlin then. This is almost assuredly Merlin. We're gonna get that mnemonic charm, draw a card into memory. So just to give some context, this is the last chance for Filipino players to really get to farm the invites to try and get their way to Nats. Nats is gonna be next weekend. So it's a lot of pressure here. Obviously lots of players already have their invites ready, but for anyone who doesn't already have it, now is their last chance to snag an invite so they can make it to Nationals in Taiwan. We're gonna get that Guoja out, gonna immediately bring out the Fabled Ruby Fatestone as well as tap that Coiled to try and get some more of this quest counter game-in going on. He should damage himself for that because that does do damage to both players, notably. Let me just inform the judges a bit. Anyways, we're gonna go for Vermilion main phase. Not really something you see all that often. Usually you want to try and do this pre-rec, but he's got the Rococo. So now we're at the pretty critical quest point counter of 4. Next turn, we can get up the 5th, and then another one from Coiled. Could bring out Tangu, possibly, as another potential way of getting to the 7th quest point counter. So if those who don't know how this deck works, the whole idea behind Fire Goja is it's kind of like a regular Fire Burn deck, except it's more focused on effect damage, and it tries to just farm as much quest counters, which you get from doing effect damage to things on the field. So obviously the Fabled Ruby Fatestone is one way. The Coiled is another. We just play a lot of burn spells. A lot of burn spells. Try and get the 7. 7 is the magic number. Once you hit that 7, you can then flip your Fabled Ruby and bring out Suzaku Vermilion Phoenix, which is kind of the whole win con of the deck. It's just a free 4 damage. If you can cremate it, you can use lots of buff effects. And Merlin, unfortunately, is one of those decks that kind of just doesn't do anything in the early game, so lots of space for this Fire Goja deck to kind of do its thing. Actually, wait, is that Rai? Oh, it's Rai. Maybe this is one of the few living Rai players left in existence. I hear that there's like 5 of us. I am one of them, unfortunately. I'm gonna bring out that Fire Resonance Bauble, obviously, on the Fire Spirit, so we do get the Bauble here. We're going to tap that Coil, do 1 damage. I think he did not. Yeah, okay, there we go. So now we are at 6, so we just need 1, which is extremely easy at this point. Almost anything will do it. If you got like a Smoke Out, maybe another Coil, maybe a Fatestone of Under. He does have another Coil. He also has Lava Plume. So lots of opportunity here. I think he has Call. Oh, he's going for the Heated Vengeance. So one of the main things that's nice about this deck is since you do a lot of self-burn damage, it's actually very easy to trigger your own Heated Vengeance without needing to use something like Impact Hammer. So that's a easy 15 damage here. And last card is another Rococo. He's dead. Unless he has something here, he's dead because we get that 7th quest counter, flip the Fabled Ruby Fatestone. Wait, is he at 6? He should be at 7. Because that was 1, 2, 3. Last turn was 4, 5, 6. He should be at 7 already. Is he just letting it go? Maybe he feels like he can still. Maybe he's worried about like a Resolute. I mean, Resolute is a pretty common card to see in a Rai deck. Not entirely sure why we didn't flip that Phoenix, unless I miscounted. I believe he should be at 7. Is that 6? Sorry, the dice are kind of hard to read, but I'm fairly certain he did 3 quest counters last turn using Rococo. Actually, did 4 because he did Vermilion. Vermilion plus Coiled plus Fabled plus Rococo. And then this turn it was Coiled, Fabled, Rococo. So that should be 7 for sure. So I'm not sure. Maybe there's a little bit of miscounting going on. Unfortunately, I can't contact the judges easily. So if there's something going wrong, it's kind of hard to adjust. It seems like he's just doing nothing and passing. Ooh, gonna use the... Is that Farouk and Acolyte? So yeah, on Darren's side, I'm looking at his list. He is playing Rai. He is an Arcade Rai player, so it's one of the few left. It seemed like he was trying to prep himself for Farouk and Acolyte, but there's... I mean, if you destroy the Coiled, it's not particularly valuable to remove Coiled. I mean, he's still gonna hit the 7 quest counters either way. Gonna use the ethically sourced... An ethically sourced... Oh my god, it's been so long. Careful study. Ethically sourced careful study here, which that's not gonna be enough, unfortunately. This should just be an easy road to lethal here. We're just gonna get the GCR, then we're gonna tap our Coiled Fate Stone, put up a 20, Rococo swings for 1, flip Phoenix, and we're just done. If he's got a Suzaku's Command, also insulates himself from a potential Resolute that could be in hand. Swing for 1. You need to do something here. Resolute. There we go. So now we just flip the Suzaku, and then as long as he has either he needs a way to buff the Suzaku, like potentially like for a Beastmaster, Flame Lash Beastmaster, a card that's or he could do the Lava Plume. Lava Plume works here as well. There it is. Lava Plume Fate Stone, unpreventable 2 damage. You're dead. There we go. I mean, Rai is unfortunately one of the decks that kind of just dies to aggro now. He can have game against allies because of Resolutes and he has lots of board clear, but against a burn deck like this, he can't really do much to stop himself from getting donked by just a bunch of random effect damage. Rise don't really play this. Actually, let's look at his deck. I'm just going to check out. Does he have really anything? No blanches. Really nothing. I mean, Resolute is still obviously useful, but yeah, not really seeing much in the way to remove allies on board. Obviously, he's playing Anger the Skies. He has all the typical arcane lineup. Blast, Spell Shield, Disposition. Disposition, a card that's a personal preference. I like Disposition. Sight, obviously, you need to have Sight. Erratic Bolt, Advent. So yeah, actually not playing the new arcane card, which is a Shattering Discharge. Which, I mean, I think it's a pretty good card, but unfortunately Rai is just not really in a good spot here. Kind of loses everything, unfortunately. But we'll see if Darren can do anything. Notably, he did go second that game, which Fire Goja is way stronger going first than going second, so maybe can make something happen. Also didn't happen to find a dungeon guide. When you play against these bird aggro decks, a lot of times it is kind of, do I find dungeon guide or not? Assuming you're playing a level 3 deck, which admittedly level 3 decks are not very popular anymore. Because, I mean, they haven't been popular for a while. I want to say the last level 3 deck that really had a lot of attention was like Wind Astro, who kind of fell off after HBN came out, unfortunately. I think she's still quite good, but definitely the amount of Fantasia hate in the game is very high, and one of the best parts about that deck was Fertile Grounds, and imagine putting down Fertile Grounds and immediately getting Scatter Essence. No one wants to see that, so I think that's why a lot of the Arisanas are kind of off. Also, kind of an awkward matchup against the Fractal decks. Both players gonna start out this game. You know, if there's one thing I love about a good Fire Goja is that the games end fast, but for the stream, unfortunately, that means if this game ends in 15 minutes, you're gonna have to be waiting along for the second round. But sorry about the noise. We are near a speaker, so we are in the middle of a convention. So for those of you who are at ToyCon, maybe doing something else, window shopping, buying merch, you can pass by here. Darren gonna go first here. Fire Spirit. And then do nothing pass. That's a Rai classic. So my read here is probably Creative Shock. If a Rai does nothing, it's almost assuredly Creative Shock. If the other usual turn 1 plays for Rai, it's like Sky the Skies, Library Witch. In this case, yeah, I mean, it's either he actually potentially could have no playable cards. That's another pretty common thing that happens with Rais, but looking at the hand, I see Ooh, Fate's Stone of Unrelenting here could be a decent choice. I think there's also a Coiled. Coiled probably going to be the pick here. Ooh, Arthur. Or is that... I think that was Arthur. Yeah, it seems like it's going to be Coiled here. Flamewing Foul, actually. Insane amount of damage on this one. That's a ton of pressure, right? Really doesn't have a good out to that unless he's actually gets to level 3. But before that, he kind of doesn't do that much. Are we gonna Coiled right after potential for that? Ooh, Fate Stone Unrelenting. Okay, so Unrelenting gonna get one damage. So no Fabled Ruby Fate Stone on field yet, which means we are not gonna get the quest counter at least. Also, no fire cards in grave, which means this Unrelenting unlikely to flip until maybe if he can play two cards next turn, we can flip it. But we still do need to level up. So not much quest counter gain yet. Ooh, oh, you see that? He just went backup charger, and he didn't activate it pre-recollection, which makes me think he actually doesn't have cards to play. So he needs to use this backup charger to put cards in memory. Pretty unfortunate, but that's right for you. Let's see if he's got anything. I mean, currently looking at his deck list, there's really not much you can do. Mnemonic Charms, maybe another a 8 cost Careful Study is potentially... Well, if you want to do that... Oh my god, Peaceful Reunion. That's early. Early to be playing a Peaceful. Makes sense though. He definitely wants to try and stop this Flamewing, but at the same time, the amount of effect damage that this deck does kind of makes you fine with this. If your opponent is -1ing themselves, you can just kind of rely on a lot of your burn effect damage stuff instead, so... Looking at the material, he is on, I think that is, in fact, Guoxia 3. Most of the Guoxia Fires I see either just play level 1 or they play level 2, but I don't see many play level 3. So he's also on Reliquary, which is the new Luxem card that lets you get a extra draw every turn as long as you have the least influence. So yeah, I mean, this is a pretty simple line. I mean, we could just go for the Searing Truth here, get some quest counters, then maybe set up... Do you have a coin? I think there was a second coin. So discard one earlier. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to play that Searing Truth, going to get 2. We're going to get 2 quest counters. Actually, did we not do...